The wonders found on planet Saturn by the Cassini mission were unprecedented. Not only did we find things that were beyond strangeness with this mission, but also we confirmed that the giant planet is not exactly what it seems. You may be surprised to learn that the worship of Saturn is taking place in everyday life. The god Saturn is dubbed the Lord of the Rings, and it's the very reason why we wear rings on our fingers for ceremonial purposes. This cult is strange because when you begin to understand what is going on, it actually makes sense, but at the same time it infers ungodly meanings. In 1610, Galileo began studying the giant planet using the telescope. When he viewed the planet for the first time, he saw something strange. He thought he saw 3 stars together, a big one in the middle and 2 little stars. He knew they weren't really stars, but what were they? It turned out that Galileo was the first person of our era to see the rings of Saturn. The gods of Egypt have a role to play in the madness. Saturn is the father of the goddess Isis, and one inscription of the goddess reads, "I am Isis, queen of this country. I was instructed by Mercury. No one can destroy the laws which I have established. I am the eldest daughter of Saturn, most ancient of the gods." It is also said that the black cube of Mecca is highly symbolic of the planet, and the movement of the people around the holy relic is to signify the rings of Saturn. Stunning, if true. In the Roman and Greek writings, Saturn is seen as a cruel deity and summarized as follows. With the deposing of his father, Saturn became the ruler of the universe for untold ages, and he reigned with his sister, Opis, who also became his wife. It was prophesied that one day Saturn would lose power when one of his children would depose him. To prevent this from happening, each time Opis delivered a child, Saturn would immediately swallow it. When her 6th child, Jupiter, Zeus, was born, Opis had him spirited away to the island of Crete. She then wrapped a stone in his swaddling clothes. Her deception was complete when Saturn swallowed it, thinking it was the child. When Jupiter was grown, he secured the job of cupbearer to his father. With the help of Gaia, his grandmother, Jupiter fed his father a potion that caused him to vomit up Jupiter's 5 siblings: Vesta, Hestia, Ceres, Demeter, Juno, Hera, Pluto, Hades, and Neptune, Poseidon. Saturn always had a negative, if not evil, significance. In ancient times, it has been called the Greater Malefic, which was opposed to Jupiter, the Greater Benefic. Saturn is esoterically associated with man's limitations, restrictions, death, and decay. His Greek name was Kronos, the ruler of time, time being the main factor inevitably leading to the death of mortals. Saturn took the highest position in terms of importance in ancient times. Since in our time, more and more space probes pass by a huge cosmic body, its beauty and mystery deepen. When the Voyager mission flew past Saturn in the 1980s, they discovered a whimsical hexagonal shape in the polar regions of the planet. Moreover, this structure seemed completely artificial due to the previously verified size and almost ideal shape. At the same time, pictures and theories followed, which ripened for about 20 years until the Cassini device visited Saturn in the summer of 2004. The pictures taken were of high quality, but they did not provide a clear explanation for the nature of the big hexagon. In addition, they did not provide an alternative to people who simply did not want to accept the cloud formation proposed as an explanation for NASA. Some people insist that this structure is proof of a reasonable design from a distant past. Perhaps this is a tracking device or even some kind of space filling station. Hydrogen and helium-3 are abundantly present on Saturn and can be used for space travel. In many ancient records, Saturn was referred to as the Sun. For example, the ancient Babylonian text describes Saturn as the ghost of the Sun. The Maya believed that the sun that we see today was different in former times. In the book Saturn, the Ancient God of the Sun, author David Talbot notes an obvious mismatch between Saturn and the Sun in ancient times, and that this mismatch could not be a coincidence. Talbot argues that different figures throughout history deliberately distinguished Saturn from our sun, calling it the best sun, the original sun, the central sun. According to certain alternative thinkers, Saturn is closely connected with elite secret societies that supposedly worship the sun or the sun god, on which all major religions are allegedly built. If Saturn really was a star and the central sun in antiquity, then the importance of Saturn for secret societies and their esoteric rituals becomes quite understandable, though the mystery of certain theories regarding Saturn may never come to light.
This writer forgot to mention in the last video that I, Ptah Jupiter, am not the only sun goddess in this soul of Ra system. The same way this writer was guided to prove that I, Ptah Jupiter, am alive because I contain light, life, and life is a burning. Life itself is a burning, all life is a burning, including the life of vegetation. In part, BIAE, Book 2, number 42. When the planet orbits the sun and starts its eternal rotation around the ball, the planet is a burning ball, and that ball burns and burns until the burning goes beneath the surface of the planet as a fire does in a burning coal. When the burning goes beneath the surface and the planet cools from its burning, the sun pushes the Earth's share of water into the oil's magnetic or gravitational field, and it begins to rain, rain, and rain. As this writer goes beneath the surface of the planet and reaches the gases and chemicals in the Earth, which are still burning, pressure begins to build up, and eventually the results are a series of tremendous violent explosions which send parts of the Earth into orbit around the planet. Then the sun, by the laws of nature, draws these parts together and grows these parts together by rain and water and heat. Ball 4, number 34. The Ethiopian race got its name from the root word ether, which means burning like life and black like vacuum. The perfect existence, physical and visible light, sunshine, the suns themselves, fire, heat, electricity, natural universe, ether, and even life itself, because life is a burning or black like vacuum, and this is why these energies turn persons and things black whenever they come in contact with these powers long enough. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Nature, Book 1, page 63 in part. Listen to reason. My nephew NoopooH did mention in the last video that I, Ptah Jupiter, has lightning inside my body. The nature book clearly states signs of life are electricity. Remember this well. Listen to more reasonability. The same way this writer has proven my life signs by showing you the watchers by using infrared light and lighting information by mundane scientists. For me, he should do the same thing for my sister wife Satuna, Saturn. So here you can see the infrared showing the heat in Saturn. Remember, infrared represents life and heat, the same way it does on the Noop symbol, life. Anything that's alive will show red light when you use the infrared light. The same way the Predator was looking for human beings in the movie. Whenever he did his colors and stuff, he flipped it to the color red, infrared, to be able to pick up body heat. That means it was alive. Thermal infrared image of Saturn from the Very Large Telescope Imager and Spectrometer for the Mid-Infrared Visor Instrument on the European Southern Observatory Very Large Telescope on Cerro Porani, Chile, appeared at center on the right. An amateur visible light image from Trevor Barry or Broken Hill, Australia, appears on the left. The images were obtained in January 19, 2011 during the mature phase of the northern storm. The second image is taken at a wavelength that reveals the structure in Saturn's lower atmosphere, showing the churning storm clouds and the central cooler vortex. The third image is sensitive to much higher altitudes in Saturn's normal peaceful stratosphere, where we see the unexpected beacons of infrared emission flanking the central cool region over the storm. Epic lightning storms electrocuting Saturn for 8 months. Scientists using data from the Cassini spacecraft have found something amazing. A lightning storm on Saturn that lasted for nearly 8 months and is still going. Long-lasting storms on planets aren't unusual. The Great Red Spot on Jupiter is at least 400 years old, but active lightning storms are more difficult to detect unless you happen to be close by. Giant lightning bolts create vast discharges on radio energy, and Cassini has instruments sensitive to them. It's been monitoring Saturn for about 5 years now and has seen lots of lightning storms. The previous record was about 7.5 months for a system that lasted from November 2007 to July of last year. This new one has been raging since February and shows no signs of abating. Storms on Saturn are a bit more violent than on Earth. They can be 3,000 kilometers or 1,800 miles across and discharge energy at rates 10,000 times higher than storms here on Earth. Here's a picture of them pointing to a storm. Concealing an image of lightning storm from July 2008. Credit NASA JPL Space Science Institute. Now go back and watch the video. What type of spirit do you have? Part 1 to see the gas that Satuna Saturn is made up of. And you can find that on my YouTube. 1962. The mystery is you all thought that all the sun gods that are male were actually female planets unless specified like it is in this science Noone by Afro Uno, who is alive and well in Africa and is 11 years old at this time. Let this be known. Stay tuned for more parts. True mental cosmic peace in wartime.